This is a most important lecture given by James Hansen on the 24th of October at the University of Helsinki. I'm Dr. Peter Carter. I've edited the lecture to take out the very complicated climate change science, and I want to draw your attention to perhaps what is the most important thing, which really surprised me, which is that James Hansen and others published a 2016 paper. And in particular, what interested me is that this paper says what will happen if we continue on our high fossil fuel use, and you'll see the short list coming up on a slide. And in particular, Hansen and colleagues for this paper modeled the AMOC, the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, and the results of the model you'll see on one of the slides as well, and then into James Hansen's lecture.
Climate change is characterized by delayed response and amplifying feedbacks, which are a recipe for intergenerational injustice. So, we have an obligation to clarify this and to not shirk from describing the implications. Jules Charny, the Charny sensitivity refers to the case in which ice sheets on Greenland and Antarctica are fixed. Charny's estimate had a huge uncertainty from 1.5 to 4.5 degrees. Today, the best estimate of IPCC is still 3 degrees. I will conclude with more than 99% certainty that climate sensitivity is higher than 3 degrees, based on 4 independent evaluations. Accelerated warming since 2010 is real. It's forced. It's not feedbacks running amok. Global temperature has now reached 1.5 degrees, averaged over the Niño cycle, and it's headed higher. How do we know that? Spatial and temporal distributions of absorbed solar radiation measured by satellite helps us understand this, even though it's hard to apportion between the aerosol forcing and the cloud feedback. Increased absorption is mainly in the northern hemisphere, especially over the North Pacific and North Atlantic. Its timing in the last 10 years suggests that the ship aerosols have more effect than the reduced China aerosols, because the regulations on ships were changed in 2015 and 2020, which reduced the aerosols from ships. But it's a secondary issue as to the apportionment between China and the ships. Aerosol forcing increases heat radiation to space immediately, while cloud feedback grows only slowly as the global temperature rises. So heat radiation to space, again, the temporal change of that, suggests that aerosol forcing was added mainly since 2015. The large increase of heat radiation in the past 2 years is a response to the large jump of global temperature in those 2 years, which reduces Earth's energy imbalance. But the imbalance is still more than 1 watt per square meter, which is double that during the first decade of this century. The implications are great. The 1.5 degree warming level has been breached, and global temperature will rise much higher because the planet is still out of energy balance. We don't need to wait 10 years to conclude that. In fact, global warming certainly will exceed 2 degrees. Greenhouse forcing is increasing at the astounding rate of almost half a watt per decade. The RCP 2.6 scenario, which was designed to keep warming under 2 degrees, is now impossible. We are closer to RCP 8.5. We cannot keep warming below 2 degrees without purposeful actions to alter the planet's energy balance. So why is this important? 10 years ago, we wrote a paper saying that 2-degree warming is highly dangerous because it will lead to shutdown of the overturning circulations in both the North Atlantic and Southern Ocean by mid-century, and probably multimeter sea level rise within 50 to 150 years. Reaching these conclusions requires using information from paleoclimate, from modern observations, and from climate modeling, all in the same paper, all in the same head. It's hard, but we can only get to answers soon if we use all sources of information. An IPCC lead author tried to block publication of this paper, which is the same problem I had in 1988, where they do not want to look at all of the information from the different sources. They look at a given temperature curve linearly and say, well, we can't yet say for sure. Well, we've got a lot more information. Nevertheless, although this paper then was reviewed by 4 referees, and all of them except the IPCC lead author agreed it should be published, but then the editorial board got involved and changed the title from "is highly dangerous" to "could be dangerous." That is scientific reticence on steroids.
So I'm going to finish off the lecture by just repeating James Hansen's paper, What Would Happen on Continued Fossil Fuel Emissions This Century.